Carlos Cuesta, the assistant coach. He's
Mm.
gone to Parma. He is now the youngest manager in Europe's Big Five leagues, just 29 years old, managing in Serie A. I can see you shaking your head there. It's ridiculous to say 29 years old, top level manager. But I mean, he's had that, he joined Arsenal, I think, 24, 25. Immediately, he was a very animated vocal presence on that sideline. We saw in that Amazon Prime documentary, he really connected with the players on that one-to-one level. Quite easy for him, maybe because he's a similar age to a lot of them. So just first of all, how much does he deserve a job like this, and how much will Arsenal miss him?
They're definitely going to miss him. He was really, really well liked. He really was. As you said, the Amazon documentary sort of gave a brief little glimpse for people to see. And whenever you talk to a player about Carlos, they absolutely loved the work he did, what he was like on the training pitch, but also, like you said, in those sort of one-to-one sessions, he was really well liked. So he's definitely going to be missed. You could see that by some of the reactions as well, even on social media for the players when that move came out. 29 years old. It's unbelievable, Ben, to think you're 29 years old and you're managing in Serie A. But I mean, even like you said, he was 24 when he came to Arsenal, and by that point, he'd already been working for Juventus and Atletico Madrid, and then he came to Arsenal at 24. His career path's been absolutely crazy for such a young player. Mikel identified that. That's why he wanted to bring him to Arsenal, and it's a fantastic opportunity for him. It really, really is. I think it just shows again the sort of management game, the coaching game. It is changing in front of our eyes. The whole landscape of it is changing in terms of how young these coaches are now. We've seen it over here in the Premier League in the last few years, how young some of the coaches who arrive in after 29 at Serie A. It's unbelievable. I hope he does really well. I really hope he does really well. And maybe, who knows, he might come back one day as an Arsenal manager if he does, because he's got that connection there. You saw it in his social media post. It was a very emotional one. He's very much been touched by his time at the club. So it might not be the last we see of Carlos Cuesta. Who knows? But I think it is a good thing. I'm sure you're probably going to ask me about this now, but I think it could be a good thing as well, because this core coaching staff has been together for quite a long time at Arsenal now. Maybe it's a good opportunity to freshen things up. Ideally, it wouldn't have happened, especially just as pre-season's about to get underway, but it does give Mikel an opportunity to maybe bring in a new voice and just shake things up a little bit.
Yep, you told the future there, Charles. I am going to ask you about what they're going to do now, because, of course, Arteta's still got Albert Stevenberg and Miguel Molina as his sort of two right-hand men. Then he's got, obviously, Inaki Chana, Nicholas Yova. So he's still got a strong backroom team there. But, like you say, do you think they will pursue a direct replacement for Carlos Cuesta, or do you think Arteta's happy with the backroom team that he's still got?
I think they'll bring someone in. I mean, Mikel does like to promote from within. We saw that when Steve Round left a couple of years ago. That was, again, that could have been an opportunity to bring someone else in, but he didn't. He just promoted Carlos Cuesta and Miguel Molina, gave him more responsibilities, higher up the sort of food chain, so to speak, in the coaching staff. But I think this time, when you lose someone who is so important, and it's quite a streamlined sort of core coaching group anyway, I think you've got to bring someone in. So this is an opportunity for him to do that. We'll wait and see what sort of route he goes down, whether he goes for a more experienced guy or if he does go for another younger coach. I think it would be quite good to bring in an experienced guy, I have to say, at this stage. Um, After a couple of seasons of just not quite being able to get over the line, maybe it'll help Mikel to have someone who's kind of been there, done it around him a little bit more than a younger one. That's just purely my thought process. So I don't know if that's what he'd be thinking himself, but yeah, I do think they'll bring someone in.